Hello there, Bick Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 4 on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 3-5. It is entitled Elevator to Hell. So, I'm going to plant 2 grenades over here because after you pull the switch on the other side of this environment and come back to attempt to pull the switch again, you're going to have juvies bursting out of some windows. And it's a really low down trick that they do. It's quite beneath them, in my opinion. I think there's about 3 or 4 of them. So when you approach the console here, just back off, and hopefully you can get those guys killed. Now, you might notice that I have the default weapons over here. The reason being is that I had inherited some weapons, some better weapons, one of which was the torque bow, and I had more frags, and everything was better than what I have now. But on the third phase of this mission, which is a defense mission, the pseudo horde-like mission, the thing wasn't recording. I have no idea why. So I had to restart the chapter, and I could have gone back through the previous chapter and got my torque bow, but there's a couple fights that I don't like to repeat if I don't have to. But on this part, I edited out a long period of waiting. I don't know why that first part is so long, but at this point, you're going to be spawning some juvies, and that room we were just in is the best room to be during these fights, right behind the fabricator. And it is really helpful in the next chapter to have a long shot. So at some point, you might consider picking up the long shot because it is only 3,000 credits, and you get maximum ammo from it. And you're going to see me use it on wave 3. And I think I use most of it. I get to like 7 rounds, or somewhere around 7 to 10 rounds left. But it beats going into the next chapter and not having one. There is one that hangs from a ceiling in one of the rooms in the next chapter. But you get a random amount of ammunition, and that amount is usually quite pathetic. So, and it's even more pathetic if you're playing an inconceivable difficulty. So, juvies are the order of the day over here, and in my opinion, the spike strips are probably one of the more helpful pieces of kit that you have, because they slow enemies down, and when enemies are entangled in those, they can't shoot either, or they won't shoot. What was I doing there? I'm not sure what I was doing there. Probably getting some more ammunition, maybe. But I do like those scarecrows. I like to place them and distract the juvies. There's also a shock machine that you can use. It's 6,000. I actually just picked it up, and it shocks and stuns and slows enemies down. And there's also a turret for 12,000, but I never can afford that. So I'm probably going to pick up a Marks at some point as well. But you have to be really careful about weapons despawning and things like that, and it's just the way the game works. But on this first part, I wait for a couple of the drones to go under this huge cylinder device that's in this cage here, and drop it on them. Hopefully you'll get both guys killed. But we now are on phase 2, and just hang back here. When your teammates fall in combat, they will come back to you and ask for a revive. But the third wave is the hardest, in my opinion. because it's a long wave, multiple spawns of juvies and hunters, the ones with the torque bows. And for some reason, at the very end of the spawn on the next wave, they throw a bunch of hunters at you and they all charge you. I mean, I don't know if charge is even the right word, because they sort of just spawned right in front of me in this room. It was really pathetic, but yeah, if you want to know what fortifications are the best, the spike strips are really handy, especially when enemies come charging at you. They stop and slow the juvies, which is a great thing. So do the scarecrows as well. I wish there were more frag grenades on this chapter. There's only 2, but there's plenty of ammunition boxes. And these drones over here, they're just hammerburst drones. So, and shotgun drones. So you need to be careful, of course. But I think we're just about. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the Marxa. Well, I'm gonna pick up more ammunition for it. That was what I did there. And I don't think that you can stack credits, folks. Like, not use all of your credits for one round of purchasing, and then on the next wave, use credits that you've saved up, which I find to be unfortunate. It would be really nice if you could do that. Maybe buy nothing on one of the waves. That's easy, like wave 1. Fortunately, when you pick up a teammate, you can just press X and you do not have to go out of cover and expose yourself. It's really nice. But when these enemies are entangled in those spike strips, their main priority stops becoming to kill you, and their primary goal is to unentangle themselves from the trap, which they can do, but it's just lovely how that works. Their main focus shifts. Oh, are these hunters? Yeah, these are possibly those hunters. Maybe we already were on wave 3. I'm sorry. No, we have another wave. But yeah, there are hunters at the end of that wave. There's probably gonna be even more though. Okay, so I'm gonna buy a shock strip, and I am gonna buy a long shot. Now this comes in handy actually for this fight, and I'm gonna place a turret there, I think, and then I know I buy a shock grenade, shock turret. I'm not sure if, yeah, I think I end up leaving it like that. If you ever want the fight to kick off before the game's ready, just press select. I wasn't quite ready there, so the game pressed it for me, which I find kind of frustrating. But the best thing to do early on in any of these encounters is to stay out here and fight enemies as much as you can get away with, so that they're not draining your traps. So, and it is very dangerous staying out here. Juvies can be jumping all over the damn place, and it's hard to tell when drones are coming all the time. It's just a lot of back and forth, and you can never really know who's coming from where. So definitely fall back when you feel uncomfortable. And the faster you kill these enemies, the less chance, obviously, they're going to have to destroy your turrets. Now, that shock trap is not going to last very long out there. But that's the reason I didn't put the turret out there, because it's too exposed out there. So get on your headshots as best as you possibly can, and we're going to start this wave off. There's some standard drones at first. Are these standard ones? They might be elite. No, they're not elite drones, but they're just drones. And then you'll have hunters, and then you also have these fucking juvies. So fortunately, they get in the trap, in the trap quite nicely, the spike floor trap, but make sure you're still hitting them when they're in that trap, because the idea is not to kill them outright using that trap, you know. And what I mean is, we're not looking for them to get trapped and then die of their own accord from all the damage. We're just looking to slow and stop them while we shoot them and finish them off, because otherwise it's going to be too much of a drain on the integrity of the strip itself. You know what? When other teammates are downed, like there was an instance in one of these. I think it's that teammate over there to the left. Somebody is downed. One of my teammates is downed, I think, unless someone picked them up. But I wish you can order a heal command, like hover your reticle over a fallen enemy and have one of your teammates go pick them up. Now I know they do that automatically, but there was 1 or 2 times during this where my teammate wouldn't go get the one that had fallen, so it was really precarious situation. Maybe it only happened once, but once was enough to really. Okay, we have nothing left. But when they say we need to finish off these hunters, that's when you really need to focus. I think that. Okay, there's a down teammate over there, and my what's that guy's name? Dell. He won't go get her. So it'd be nice if I could have issued a heal command. You know, because Kate is way back there. It seems like she can't pathfind properly over here. Oh, there he goes. I think he's gonna pick her up. Good boy. But why did he wait so long? You know? Oh, I just wish you had a little bit more control of how that works. Okay, so get ready for these hunters. They have torque bows, and you need to be really careful about that. And just don't push your luck too much. Was that a headshot? No, I don't think it was. If an enemy is ever bending over in this game and he has his back to you, you can shoot him like through his neck area and it will still pop his head. It's really fantastic. I think they started that in Gears 3. Oh man, this long shot is really saving me. If you are having problems here, is this where they all rush in? Anyway, my teammates are down, so I've got to pick them up. But yeah, there is a point over here where, and I'm gonna just take a look and see what happens, because I'm curious to see what happens as this video plays back and they all come in the room. I think it happens every time. But what I was gonna say a moment ago was, if you want to go back to the previous stage and bring a torque into this chapter, potentially could help you out if you're struggling. And there's going to be some torques that are dropped over here, but I'm not going to pick them up because I just want to hang on to my custom Lancer and my long shot. So this is probably the safest place to go. Okay. Now, this is always a worrisome situation because both the teammates are down and now folks are coming after me, or at least setting up the idea to do that in their minds, perhaps. Oh, here we go. They all rush. Wow. Was that because my teammates are down? It probably has something to do with it. But did you see that? Like five of those guys rushed me. 5. But again, it probably was because my teammates were downed. I've never seen any of them do that. That's bizarre. Okay, so you have a checkpoint now. And we are going to come back into this room and fight off some juvies and pouncers. But the first thing you need to do is go into the room over here. If you're unsure of what to do in this game, press left bumper. That'll bring up your objective. I wouldn't fight the juvies and the pouncer in this room because just not safe, and it's so much better in the other room, especially since the juvies can't go into the room where the fabricator is. And you don't really need to hunt the pouncers down either. They'll find you, and they like to eventually just come to rest in this area and jump from table to table. Watch all the weapons disappear over here too. It's strange. I picked up a torque. Yeah, see? Everything just disappeared. The game cleaned itself up to my detriment. I only have 4 rounds of the torque bow now. So I guess I was thinking about going into the next stage with a torque and a long shot. But to reiterate, both of those weapons can be found at the beginning of the next stage. But you're not going to have that much ammo for the weapons in question. I love how they don't come in here. And there should also be some juvies. So I'm gonna switch my my empty torque for the custom Lancer. And I wish you could design your own gun and use it in the game, or unlock a certain gun that was different. Okay, now in just a moment the ship is going to shake. You're going to get knocked off your feet, and then you're going to be in this last section. Oh, we have another pouncer. I'm sorry. Oh, juvies too. You can always tell when where a pouncer is located, because those quills that are getting fired. But I have to say, the running part on the tail end of this video is complete trash. I found a good path, and I hope it translates to a good path for you when you're playing this and trying to do it, because otherwise the game wants you to pretty much do the impossible. They want you to kill so many enemies before you get an objective fail from having too much time spent killing those enemies. The checkpoint's decent. So what I would do is I would run over here all the way to the right, and we're going to be mantling through one of these windows. Unfortunately, I was too close to the right side. It wouldn't let me mantle. Very, very frustrating. And then if you just steer over here to the right, and just pray that you don't get killed, and throw the switch, and then that's it. I will see you in 3-6. It will be Origins. And until I see you there, please continue to take care.